1, 2. Testing. 1, 2. And hello, everybody. Sorry for the delay. Welcome to session 3 of Paul Plays Through the Pathfinder Adventure Card Game. I'm exhausted. I've just got back from the shops. I was running late. I completely lost track of time, and this was supposed to start at 4 o'clock. So yes, hello everybody for joining me live. I'm going to switch over to the chat in a minute. And yeah, hello to everybody for joining me afterwards. So I'm going to switch over to the multi-camera thing, and hopefully the chat is working. And there's me saying that I'm going to be 10 minutes late. So if you are, I think this is going out live. If you are watching this live, please let me know if you can hear and see me. It should be working, he says, but I've had all sorts of problems before, so you never really know. You never know if it's working or not. But I think it is. But yeah, if you are watching live, please let me know in the chat. So, as I say, I just got back from the shops. I've hastily done the setup, so I just need to move things around. Now, you're not going to be able to see very much on the overhead camera because I'll try and zoom in as much as I can. But, yeah. Oh, there we go. I don't know why I'm looking at it on that small screen. Dicey Exploits says it's working. Excellent. Thank you very much, Dicey Exploits. Good to have you with us. So, let's just move things around. Now, I have talked before about playing solo games, and one of the reasons why I don't play solo games, and that is because I get flustered and I get bogged down in all the details, and I forget stuff, and then I make mistakes, and then I think, right, okay, I'm going to stop playing now because I've made too many mistakes, and that really sort of puts me off. Now I'm going to be playing this solo today, but I'm going to be playing 3 characters. Now, last time I played 2 characters when I was playing solo, and that was a little bit too much. So why am I playing 3? Well, for those people who've watched session 2, Rick and Andy came round and we played 3 characters. So I kind of want to stay with the same party, and I'm going to try playing 3 characters today. This is way beyond my comfort zone. So this is a bit of an experiment, and if it doesn't work, I will go back to 2 characters next time. But I'm just going to jump straight in, and we're going to start with... So we are now on scenario 1B, the Blood Vow. So previously, on Pathfinder Adventure Card Game, we basically went to a tower which had been blown up and was supposed to be inhabited by kobolds. And we dug around and we found the wizard was killed, and he'd been conspiring with the kobolds and they'd betrayed him. But anyway, the woman in charge of the town, the Baroness, she wants us to dislodge these Blood Vow kobolds from our region. Right, we've all spent our hero points. We've all actually bought 1 extra card, so we've got slightly bigger decks for our cards. If the sound is peaking, if it's too loud, please let me know. It shouldn't be because I've turned it down. So it shouldn't be peaking anymore, even when I talk loudly. Right, scenario 1B, the Blood Vow. At the request of Belhaim's Baroness, you've scouted the Blood Vow kobold tribe for 3 days. A couple of times you've tempted a straggler with food or worthless baubles, questioned it, and then let it run back into the kobold lair with warnings of retribution from the citizens of Belhaim. Tragically, the kobolds have thus far made no apparent effort to vacate the area. The Blood Vow are not a simple marauding band of kobolds. You figured out that they oscillate between 2 competing goals. The first goal is held firmly by Chief Roghaz, who reportedly worships the dragon Ateparax. It's an odd name for a dragon. That name you hadn't expected to hear, as the legendary dragon was killed a millennium ago by Lady Tula Belhaim. You're no expert in the kobold tongue, but as far as you can tell, they refer to the dragon in the present tense. That is highly worrisome. Having made a vow to this Ateparax, Roghaz and his cleric Churgri forced the kobolds to ally with the wizard Balthus Hunclay to destroy Belhaim's witch tower. Then the dragon demanded they lure the wizard into the explosion in a surprisingly well-crafted double cross. And that's right about where the kobold's 2 goals diverge. Hello Rick, thank you very much for joining. The second goal is held by most of the kobolds. Fearful of the townsfolk whose wrath they've incurred, they are ready to hit the high road. Whatever this dragon is, it isn't doing the kobolds any favours. They have been replaced in his eye by a bat-like species called grioths. but Roghaz and his fellows, believing that any misbehaviour will result in the dragon returning and bathing them in his acid breath. That's quelled any rebellion for now. Kobolds being kobolds, they won't just let you out willy-nilly. They won't just light out willy-nilly. They need leadership, and there might be an alternative to Roghaz. Somewhere in the caves there's a captive named Nighttail. She was the leader of another tribe, the Swamp Dragons, which recently extincted itself at the hands of some murderous gnomes. If you can free her, you could unseat Roghaz and the dragon worshippers with a minimum of bloodshed. Now, if only these ceilings weren't 4 feet high, you might have a chance of it. Now, for those people watching, I haven't rehearsed this. I am literally reading this, for the first time now, because this is the point we are in the story. Now, let's just make sure I've set the locations up correctly, because I did all this last night. There is quite a bit of setup in this game, so I'm doing that the night before. So in a 3-player game, we should have the caves, which we have, the cell, which we have, the lair, twisting passages, and the river. Right. Special rule for during this scenario. When you defeat a Kobold Story Bane, summon and encounter an ally. If you acquire it, you may display it next to the scenario. Add 1d4 to diplomacy checks against Kobold monsters for each of these displayed allies. Right, so whenever we defeat a Kobold Story Bane, basically, we get a chance to try and rescue somebody. And if we do, we get a 1d4 extra on diplomacy checks against Kobold monsters for each of these displayed allies. If we do any diplomacy checks on displayed allies. I notice this camera isn't as high as it should be. Never mind. I'll try to crouch a bit. There we go. Before you encounter the Kobold Champion, each character summons and encounters the Storybane Ancient Skeleton. Right, which means I need to get out the Ancient Skeleton Storybane from the deck. Now, where is it? Ancient Skeleton. So I need that. Let's just make sure I've got all the right cards that I need for this scenario. So the dangers are the Kobold Horde and the Poison Dart Trap. So dangers are a new thing in this 2nd edition of the game. The Kobold Horde and the Poison Dart Trap. Can you see these? No. Where shall I put them that you can see them? Let's get rid of that. And I'm going to put them over here, because they're going to come in at some point. The villain is the Kobold Sorcerer. So the last scenario we played didn't have a villain. We just had to close all of the locations. This one has a villain, which is... Oh, I'm going to put the Ancient Skeleton over here as well. The Kobold Sorcerer. Right, so that is the villain. We've basically got to find him and defeat him. Oh, that sounds like Loki. Yeah, I didn't give Loki lunch. So, yeah, you come in to say hello. Yeah. Right, and the henchmen, the closing henchmen are the Kobold Champion, which is this one, the Inferno Trap, and then 2 Kobold Hordes, because we need 5 locations, so we need 5 cards for the 5 locations, 1, 2, 3, so these 2 are actually that. Okay, so they get shuffled. There we go. I'm just going to switch over to that to see if that's working. Apparently 3 people are watching at the moment, which is cool. I know it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon on a Friday. Oh, we have a cat. Hello. Yeah, you just jumped up behind me. Trying to guest star in videos to get me more views. Is that what it is? So these get shuffled. So one of these is the villain. And the reason I'm playing with opaque sleeves is that there is unfortunately a colour printing difference between the 2 sets of cards. All the ones from the expansion set are a lot lighter and you can easily tell them apart. So clear sleeves, which I really like, yeah, not going to work for this game. So I'm using green ones at the moment, but I haven't got enough, which is why the blessings are not sleeved. And I have 500 blue sleeves arriving tomorrow. So guess what I'm going to be doing tomorrow? Sleeving cards. Yeah. Right. So I'm just shuffling these. So remember, the villain is in one of these locations. And the objective of this scenario is, it doesn't say, but if there is a villain, the objective is that you've got to find the villain and defeat it. Now, the trick with this game, and this is the same in the 1st edition, is if you find the villain early on and you defeat it, if there are any other locations open, it will run away to those. And that's bad. So what you've got to do is you've actually got to go through the locations and either close them or guard them, pin the villain down, and then if you defeat him when he's got nowhere to go, I say he, could be a she. It's a kobold sorcerer. That's when you win. So yeah, it isn't just as easy as finding them and defeating them. Right, that's ready. I need to remember that special rule, so I'm going to put that. Where am I going to put that? Oh, we've lost the. We've not got the thing. There we go. Sorry, we've not got the overlay on. Right, so that's going to go there along with these cards. Is that okay? You can just about see that, except we need a discard pile for this one. Okay, so this is not going to work. Let's put them. Yeah, I'll try and remember that. I'll put it there. We'll see if we remember it. Right, so I've got 3 characters. We have the character card. We have the deck. And next to it, we're going to have the discard pile. So it's going to get a little messy, but we'll see how we go on. I've already shuffled these, but I'm going to shuffle them again. And I get to draw cards equal to my hand size, which for Kyra is 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to try and play again with open hands so that you can see what I'm doing. Now, favoured card for Kyra is Blessing. I do have a Blessing, so that is it. I can't redraw. So they are Kyra's cards. Merisial, which is Rick's character. And I don't completely know how these characters work, unfortunately. So, yeah, there's going to be a lot of reading of cards. It's really good once you get to know the characters and how they work. Hand size of 5. Favoured weapon, I believe, is a knife. Sorry, an item or a knife weapon. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, we have an item, so that's fine. Yeah, the rapier is not a knife. And Fumbus, which is Matt's character or Andy's character, starts with 6. Now, is that bright enough? I don't know whether the overhead camera is bright enough. It looks a little bit dark. I'm just going to up the settings a little bit. Yeah, it looked a little bit dark. Okay. There we go. I think that's better. Lone Jedi 70 said, I learned a lesson from session 1 and ordered enough sleeves for the whole set, along with your copy of the game. Should arrive by tomorrow. Excellent. And Glenn's here from Board Games and Bourbon. Hi, Glenn. Really should get into card sleeves. Yep, to sleeve any game. Yeah, I have a big thing about card sleeves. There are a group of people, and I've said this many times, but I'm going to say it again. There are many people who say card sleeves are awful and they make shuffling easier. The thing is, there's 2 types of sleeves. There's cheap sleeves. Don't get them. They're a waste of time. They make your cards stick together. They're awful. You can't shuffle them or anything else. Good quality sleeves. Watch. I'm shuffling, right? I'm shuffling. That's not difficult at all. And watch what I can do. I can mash the cards together like this. So when you've got a big deck of cards, you can really properly mash them together. How is that difficult? It's not difficult. It's actually easier to shuffle with sleeves than it is with normal cards. And no damage to the cards whatsoever. So yeah, good sleeves, either Fantasy Flank Gaze or Ultra Pro ones. They're the ones I would recommend. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Other sleeves are available. Dragon Shield are apparently quite good. But yeah, I stick with Fantasy Flight normally. So, Fumbus's cards, and Fumbus's favourite thing is an alchemical item or an attack spell. We have an alchemical item, so no redrawing here. Can you see all those cards? You can. Right, we have Dice Cam, which is this one here. And today we are using the dice tray, which was a gift. So, yes. Thank you very much. Basically, Robbie Munn, designer of Summoner's Isle and other games, made this for me when I did a shout out on the UK Facebook group saying, you know, basically, I need help. Where should I get a dice rolling tray from? And he made one. So yeah, thank you very much to Robbie for that. Right, we are ready to start, I believe. I know what I'm trying to do. The next thing to do is I need to decide where the characters are starting, and I'm going to read through the locations one by one. First of all, the twisting passages. At this location, you cannot move unless you succeed at an intelligence or knowledge 6+1 check. So intelligence or knowledge 7, otherwise I can't move. Wow. Well, I think Fumbus is good at that. Yeah, Fumbus is... Oh, no. Right. So all of my characters, when they are here, are going to find it really difficult to move from this location. And there are 2 monsters, 1 barrier, 1 weapon, 1 item, 1 blessing. For those people who haven't tuned into previous episodes, I am playing with these small locations. So I am playing with 20 blessings in the deck instead of 30. I believe it should be 18, but I'm making it slightly easier for myself by playing with 20. So the closed check is a wisdom or survival check 6. Now, Kyra's wisdom is D10, which is pretty good. So she's probably the best for closing this location. But the problem is if she's at this location, she can't move. That's fine. That's fine. I think I'm going to start her there. But we'll see what we get. We've got the river. On your check, you may discard a card to re-roll the die. And the closed check is succeed at a strength, constitution or fortitude 6 check. And there are 2 monsters, 1 barrier, 1 item, 1 blessing. Strength, constitution or fortitude check. Well, don't think any of my characters have got that. No. Okay. So actually, Kyra's probably good at this location as well because her strength is a D8. So that's a D8 needing a 6. Okay, so Kyra's going to start at either one of those two. The lair, the difficulty to defeat Story Banes is increased by 2. Ouch. And to close, succeed at a strength or melee check. Oh, well, surprise, surprise, that's Kyra as well. Because neither of these two characters are good at strength or melee. Brilliant. The cell, you cannot move unless you either bury an ally or succeed at a strength or disable 7 check. Now, I'm assuming Maricel, being a rogue, has got disabled. Yes, she does. So D12 plus 2. So she can get out of this location. Either bury an ally, this is the close check, bury an ally or succeed at a strength or disable 7 check. Right, so Maricel is going to start there. Yep. And finally, the caves. It's cave on the card, but it's caves in the storybook. There's a typo on the card. At this location, when you fail a check to defeat a Bane, suffer the scourge dazed. And to close or guard, you summon and defeat the danger. Right, now, the danger, I thought there were 2 dangers. There are 2 dangers. So when it says summon and defeat the danger, I wonder if it means the danger. Let's just check to see if there's any errata for this scenario. I don't think there is. But there are two dangers for this scenario. The Kobold Horde and the Poison Dart Trap. So I don't know which is which. If you are watching this live and you have played this scenario, please let me know. It's unlikely, I know, but I am just going to do a very quick Google search, because I do want to play it correctly. Pathfinder Card Game Scenario 1B Blood Vow Danger. Right. Let's have a look. Let's see what we can find. Oh gosh, Board Game Geek's gone all funny. Yep. Oh dear. Well, I guess we'll get to that point later on. Somebody did a solo playthrough of session 1B. Ah, right, so somebody's done a video on it, but I don't really want to be watching somebody else's video while I'm doing my video. So I am going to have to just pop to the Paizo forums and let's check the FAQ, which I should have done beforehand, which I would have done if I'd have got back from the shops in time. So, community, forums, Pathfinder Card Game, rules questions, let's just do a search there for Blood Vow. This is what happens with the allies displayed at the end of the scenario. Okay, doesn't say, but there's no question about that summoning and defeating the danger. Maybe it's a core rule. Yeah, maybe there's a core rule about summoning dangers, which I don't know about. Let's just have a look. Apologies for this if you want to see me jumping into it, but I do want to get this correct. I should have put a shortcut to the FAQ because I read it quite a bit. Here we go. Right. Core set FAQ. Oh, what's happened here? I'll tell you what, right, let's just check the basic rules for dangers. Before I start looking up FAQ, danger. Specific story bane assigned to a scenario to be summoned during play. Yeah, a specific story bane. It doesn't say bane or banes. I think all of the other ones have only one. One or more dangers. No, it does. For example, the scenario, yeah, okay. So yeah, one or more dangers. So we have a danger. Set aside the dangers where everybody can easily see them. Yeah, which I've done. Okay, so for this playthrough, and I assume this is correct, I'm going to summon both of them and defeat them. So when I try to close the cell, let's just switch back to the chat to see if anybody's got any questions. BGG does say choose one at random. Does it? Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, I couldn't get the BGG page up. So it says choose one at random. Page 14 of the rulebook has confirmation of this. Thank you very much, Ben. Page 14 of the rulebook, summon and encounter. If you're told to summon and encounter the danger, summon the danger listed by the scenario. If the scenario lists more than one, choose one of them at random. Thank you very much. It is in there. It's actually a pretty good rulebook. So there we go. So Meriseal's going to start there. Where's Fumbus going to start? Oh no, yeah, that's... yeah, summon and defeat the danger. So the danger is either a poison dart trap, which is a disabled check, or a kobold horde where I could use diplomacy. This is what you need to get the allies. Yeah, no chance whatsoever. So I don't... Fumbus is no good at closing any of these locations, really. So I'm going to actually look at the cards that I've got, because some of the characters last time had cards that affect local checks. And that means I need to be at a location with somebody else. So I think, although Merisel has an ability when you encounter a card, if you are the only local character, she kind of wants to be on her own. Okay, so I'm going to start Kyra at the river along with Fumbus. That's what I'm going to do. Whether that's the right thing or not, who knows? Again, I'm not an expert at this game. I'm still pretty much learning it, but we will see how we get on. I think we are ready to start. I'm just going to get a drink of water. It's 4:30 already. Wow. Running out of time. So, first thing is, Kyra's going to go first, because Kyra's the party leader, because she's a cleric. Clerics are always the party leader. First thing you do is advance the hour. So we're going to draw a card from the blessing deck, which is going to be there, and we're going to put it facing Kyra. When this is the hour, at the start of your turn, you may recharge any number of cards and then reset. Oh, that's pretty good. So which of these cards... Now, this is interesting. So basically, I can recharge any number of these cards and then redraw back up to my hand size. So, yeah, which of these do I want to keep? I don't really know. I'm going to keep the Divine Insight in case I draw the barrier, because otherwise I'm not very good at getting rid of barriers. This Harrow Strike is a spell that I found in the previous scenario, and it seems insanely good. Very, very insanely good. So I'm going to keep that for now. I am going to get rid of Benefaction for now, but I'm going to keep these other two items. These other two. I'm going to keep the Blessing and the Weapon. So I reset, draw another card. It's another Blessing. Never mind. Right. Where's the player reference card? Here's the player reference card. I can keep this off screen. Advance the hour. Give a card to another local character. I could do that, but I don't want to. Move to a distant location, don't want to do that. Explore the top card of your location. Right, so I'm going to explore, where are we? We're at the river. So I'm going to explore the river, and we've found the villain. Now this is really not good. So this game is very random. Obviously it's got dice, it's got lots of cards in it, but this is really bad. Encountering the villain at the start, because there are going to be these three locations that are open. I think it's really bad anyway. So it's going to run away, whatever. But we need to try and defeat it, because Meriseal's got a chance of closing this location. Right, so let's just have a look. When encountering a villain, because there wasn't a villain in the last scenario, the first thing I do is I get a chance to apply any evasion steps. Right, so if I want to try and evade it, now is the chance. And that will just shuffle it into the deck. I don't think I've got anything that will allow me to evade it. So that's not going to happen. So Villain step. So this only happens if you encounter a villain. Each character at a distant location from the villain may immediately attempt to fulfill the 2 guard requirement for their location. So Merisiel gets a chance to guard the cell to stop the villain escaping there. To close or guard, either bury an ally or succeed on a strength or disable 7 check. So she's going to try and do a disable 7 check. And her disable is dexterity +2. And her dexterity is d12. So there's the d12. And this die is going to be used for the modifier. Can you see that? You can't see that. Where do I need to put it? I need to put it here. Yeah, let's zoom out a little bit. Can we zoom out? No, we can't zoom out. Right. So there's the dice. And then here's the modifier. So it's d12 +2, and I need a 7. So the chance of me getting it is reasonable. It's like 66%. Do I want to bless it? Do I want to do anything to boost that check? Have I got anything? Combat check, combat check. So yeah, I could bless this check if I really wanted to. Because you're only allowed to use 1 blessing per check, or 1 of each card per check. So I'm thinking, oh, maybe I don't want to bless this check. But then when I fight the monster, Fumbus has got a blessing, and Kyra's got 2 blessings as well. So actually, I might do this. Yeah, on any check, discard to bless. So that gets discarded, which basically means I get another d12. So the chance of me doing this are very, very high. 2d12 +2. Yes. Oh, just slightly. I've rolled 25. So this location is guarded. Right. So we've done that. And again, if we had other characters at other locations, we could guard them as well. That's one advantage of splitting the party. Next, apply any effects that happen before acting. And this says, before acting, suffer 1 acid damage. So I suffer 1 acid damage, and I don't have anything that will reduce that. So I basically lose a card from my hand. Oh, wait a minute. I should have displayed this before. Yeah, sorry. I was going to display this before I did the encounter. So this is displayed. I'm going to have to put it there, actually, because I've not got enough space. So I am displaying the Harrow Strike spell. Right, so I've got to take an acid damage. Let's get rid of this rule book. Well, I don't really want to lose that, because that's my weapon. Although I now have Harrow Strike out. Which means I don't actually need this weapon, but that will add a d4. Right, I'm going to take the damage on the other blessing. Right, done. That's the damage that I've taken. Just having a look at the other characters. Make sure nobody else has got anything that can help me. Nope, don't think so. Right. So, we've done the before acting. Now we get to actually fight it, and I need to do a combat check of 12. If the check to defeat does not have the attack trait, and you succeed, re-roll. And then after acting, suffer 1 attack damage. Suffer 1 acid damage. Right. So Kyra is going to use her Harrow Strike spell. When displayed, or while displayed, for your combat checks, you may use Arcane or Divine plus 1d6. Her Divine is Wisdom plus 3. So, d10 plus 3. That's a rubbish dice, don't want that one. D10 plus 3, right, so that's what I'm rolling at the moment, plus 1d6. So the average of this is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, which is what I need. If proficient, you may banish this card to add another d6. Oh, I think I got this wrong the other day. While displayed, it does that, and at the end of your turn, banish. So basically, it only lasts for 1 turn. The other day, oh, we totally cheated the other day. So yeah, if Rick's watching this or Andy's watching this, this Harrow Strike, which we thought was too good to be true, it was too good to be true. We totally cheated. Basically, it looks like it disappears at the end of your turn. So why wouldn't I banish it? If I'm going to be fighting multiple monsters, I guess. So I might as well banish it. Banish it to add another d6. And because I'm proficient in Divine, it means I don't actually banish it, I discard it instead, but it goes to my recovery area. So my recovery area is sideways on top of my deck. Right, that is my recovery area. And this card has the attack trait, which means I don't have to re-roll. Let's just check the scenario bonus again. When you defeat a Kobold Storybane, this is a Kobold Storybane. Right, so something will happen if I manage to defeat it. Let's just check the stream is going out okay. I think it is. Yep, looks like it is. Right. So are we done? It's all of this plus 3 and I need a 12. Now, the other thing is, I mean, I can totally do this because, so what's this? Average of 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Average of 15. So I should do this, but Funbus has got a card which says on a local combat check, which is what this is, freely recharge to add a d4. Recharge is top of the deck. It does mean that that card is not there on his turn, but that's okay because he's got a Noxious Bomb. I just don't know if this is overkill. Oh, and recharge is bottom of the deck as well. Now, Kyra could use her returning Star Knife on your local combat check, freely reload to add 1d4. Yeah, so we'll do that. We'll reload that on there to add another d4, and that is it. Nobody's going to bless it. I think we're okay. Yeah, it doesn't need blessing because I've got all of this. Right, let's go for it. See what we get. 7, 8, 9, 10, 14, 17. Yes, defeated. However, it's a villain. So here's what happens when you defeat a villain. If you defeated a villain, oh, okay, it's not all bad. Close the villain's location. You do not need to fulfill the to close requirement. Awesome. Right, okay, so there is an advantage to finding it early as well. That's a nice balance. Search the villain's location for any additional villains. I don't need to do that because I know there are no additional villains in here. If you don't find any villains, the location's when closed effect happens. When closed, each local character may give a boon to another character at any location. Okay. Okay. I don't think we're going to do that, but that's nice to know. Basically, you can give cards to each other. So, yeah. Not going to do that. Then what happens? It is now closed. Banish all of the cards from the location. So they're all gone. It is now closed. Put the location card back into the vault. Yep. So that's that gone. I didn't miss anything on here, did I? Nope. After the encounter, the exploring character may no longer... Oh, because they've got to move in a minute. Check to see... Yeah, so we've got to move to a new location and we can no longer explore. Check to see whether the villain escapes. If any locations are unguarded, which there are, so that's guarded, but these 3 are unguarded, the villain escapes. Note that if you did not defeat the villain, there is normally at least one unguarded location. Yep, yeah, that's fine. If you defeated the villain, count the number of unguarded locations, 3, subtract 1, 2, retrieve that number of random blessings from the vault. Okay. Yeah, because if you hadn't have defeated him, the blessings would have come from the hourglass, which is really bad. Oh, I'm shuffling unsleeved cards. Oh, painful. Right, 2 of these. 1, 2. Just going to keep them there. And I need to sleeve them because random blessings from the vault. Shuffle the villain in with those blessings. And this is why your card backs... If you can tell the difference, it's important. So the villain gets shuffled in with these 3. And then these 3 basically get dealt to these 3 locations. And these locations get shuffled. There we go. So the villain is at one of those locations. We know the villain is not at the cell. Because Merisiel was able to guard the cell beforehand. And I think that's the end of the turn. Because you can't explore again... Once you've... Oh, I've got to move. Yeah, so let's just move. let's move to the lair. Right, there we go. Not bad first turn. One location gone. Yeah, we do. And if the villain had nowhere to escape to, then we'd win the scenario, basically. So at the end of her turn, we apply any end of turn effects, do recovery. So I need to succeed on a divine 10 check to recharge this card. My divine is wisdom +3, so D10 +3. Again, I could bless this if I want to, but I don't think I'm going to. 7 +3 is 10, recharged. Excellent, got it anyway. So that's bottom of the deck. And then reset. So I draw back up to my hand size 5. There's the returning star knife again. It had returned. Yeah, not got me mace. Right. It is now Miraciel's turn. So I'm going to advance the hour and have it facing Miraciel. When this is the hour, no effect. Right. What's Miraciel going to do? She can't do that. She can't move. So she's going to explore. And we found a mouse. So when you encounter a boon, you have to try and acquire it. You must, which is a wisdom, stealth, or survival. She has stealth, which is dexterity +2. So it's D12 +2. And I need a 4. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to do this. Let's see if we can get the mouse. We got the mouse. Yes. So that goes into her hand. Oh, we got stuff that I should have played first. Leather armour. I'm going to display the leather armour. What else have we got? Oh, there's something else I forgot to do. This. When you defeat a Kobold Story Bane, should have done that. Summon and encounter an ally. Right. Again, shuffling unsleeved cards. Ugh. Right, summon and encounter an ally. We have encountered a crow. And I get a chance to acquire it, which is wisdom or survival, 5. And her wisdom is D10. So D10, I need a 5. Let's say I didn't bless it. I got it. So that goes next to, where does it go? It's supposed to go next to the story, I think. And display it next to the scenario. Okay, so let's move things along a bit. So I can put it there. I'm going to put it next to the hourglass. So anytime I'm now fighting a kobold monster and I make a diplomacy check, I can add 1d4 because of that. Cool. Right, anyway, back to Miraciel. She's put on her leather armour. She's found the mouse. Do we want to carry on exploring? Because we have, we had 5 locations. We've now got 4 locations, some of which have 7 cards in, some of which have 8. So what's that, 28 cards at least? And we've only got 18 time left. So you need to be doing usually more than 1 explore in a turn. Now, what cards have I got that will allow me to explore? Well, we have the mouse. Discard to explore. Yeah, let's do it. So I'm going to discard the mouse to explore. And if the first card I encounter is a barrier, then I can recharge the mouse instead. And there is a barrier in this location. It is a barrier. It's a Storybane barrier. Right. So discard to explore. If the first card you encounter is a barrier, you may recharge this card instead. Right, so the mouse gets recharged. And I have encountered the Inferno Trap, which is awesome because that's the card that I really wanted Miraciel to find because it's a really bad trap and it needs a disable check, and she's the best one at doing that. So, now this is a Storybane. I don't think... No, it's not the villain, so it doesn't close the location. It's just a fixed trap which is somewhere in the game, but nothing special happens when you defeat it, I believe. So before acting, each local character suffers 1 fire damage. Good job there's nobody else here. So I suffer 1 fire damage. I am wearing leather armour. When you suffer cold or combat damage, recharge it to reduce by 1. Or when you suffer any damage, you may bury to reduce to 0. So I probably don't want to do that just yet. I am probably going to take the 1 fire damage on the Caltrops because I hate the card. I think it's hopeless and I don't know why it's in the deck. Yeah, so we need to probably get rid of that at some point. I just don't think it's a very good card. It's like a starting item, but yeah, I just don't think it's very good. So before acting, each local character suffers 1 fire damage. Done. Next, I get to try and defeat it, and it's a disable 7 check. For those people watching who don't know the game, it says 6 plus hash, and we are scenario 1. Well, it's not actually scenario 1, it's 1B, but it's 1. So the scenario level is 1, so it's 6 plus 1, so it's 7. And her disable is D12 plus 2. So D12 plus 2, and I need a 7. Means I'm going to need to roll a 5. It's 2/3 chance. And if undefeated, each local character suffers 1d4 fire damage. Oh, when I got the mouse, I should have revealed the codex. The codex is on your local check to acquire, on your check to acquire, reveal to add 1. Yes, I could have done that. Oh, Thieves' Tools. Handy. On your disable non-combat check, which is what this is, or your check to defeat a lock or a trap, it's a trap. It's a trap. Reveal to add 1d8. There you go. I have revealed it to add a d8. So I think I'm pretty confident. I knew these Thieves' Tools was in the deck for a reason. I'm pretty confident I should do this unless I roll really badly. 12. Done. So that is gone. So that is a Story Bane defeated, but it's not a Kobold Story Bane, which makes sense. So that's gone. Out of the way. Right. Does she want to explore again? She can't. She has no cards in hand that allow her to explore. So, end of turn. Reset. Do I want to discard any cards? I'm just checking the location to make sure I haven't missed anything, which I haven't. And then she draws 2. An allying dart and a luckstone. Lots of items and weapons. Right, over to Fumbus. Fumbus is at the lair with Kyra. We're going to display the hide armour first. So he's going to put on his set of hide armour. Are there any other cards that I need to play beforehand? No, I don't think there is. Now, I have a Elixir of Healing, banished to heal a local character, 1d4 plus 1 cards. Kyra has 2 cards in a discard pile. It's probably not worth doing that just yet. So I think we just... Do we want to give a card to another player? I don't think we do. No, not at this stage. I think we're okay. So we're going to explore the location. Oh, advancing the hour. I always forget to do that. No effect. Right, I'm going to put that way. And now we're going to explore the location. And we've found a rat swarm. I need a combat check of 9. It's vulnerable to attack. That means if I use a card that has the word attack on it, I get +4. And the Noxious Bomb, which is probably what I'm going to use, has the word attack on it. So Fumbus is going to use the Noxious Bomb. For your combat check, banish to use Dexterity, Craft or Ranged plus 2d6. That's it. Let's put the displayed cards on top of my deck. That might be less hassle, I don't know. Ranged is d10 plus 1. Craft is d8 plus 3. d8 plus 3 is better. So it's d8 plus 3 plus 2d6. For your combat check, banish to use craft plus 2d6. Against a monster, you may ignore its after-acting powers. It is a monster, but it doesn't have any after-acting powers, so that's fine. And then that actually goes to my recovery area because I might get it back. So we're looking at an average of 4, 11, 14. What do I need? A 9. Yep, so I'm not going to bless it. I'm not going to ask for any help. I could use the Star Knife. And again, Kyra could use the returning Star Knife, but then she won't get it back until her turn. I think I'm okay with this. I think this should be fine. 4, 8, 9 plus 3, 12. Yep, defeated. Ah. Oh, and vulnerable to attack. So I add 4. Yeah. So I've rolled 16. If defeated by less than 4, which it's not, otherwise I would shuffle it into the location. That's nice, that's thematic. But I did defeat it, so it's done. Right, does Fumbus want to carry on exploring? I think yes. So he's going to use Incitation, discard to explore. There you go, so that gets discarded, and we're going to explore again. And we found A Deathbane light crossbow. It's a level 1 weapon. The chance that I've got to try and make a dexterity or ranged check to acquire it. Now my range is dexterity +1, so that's D10 +1. Need an 8. It's a pretty good weapon. Have we got anything that will allow me to get it any better? I'm just going to put that there. What have we got? We've got Barnberry, we've got an Acolyte on a local wisdom or divine check. No, it's not that. What is it? It is a dexterity or range check. It's a range check that I'm using. No, I don't think I've got anything. Oh, that's a shame, because it is quite a good weapon. I'd replace my Star Knife with that at the end of the scenario. This is the thing you've got to do. As well as trying to obviously defeat the goal of the scenario, you're actually also trying to, you know, pick up extra weapons to make your deck better for future scenarios. Yeah, I can't bless it now. So I think, yep, I don't think there's anything I can do. I'm just rolling D10 and adding 1, and we'll see if we get an 8. We got 6, so I didn't find it. That goes away. I think that is it. So end of turn. Apply any end of turn effects. Do recovery. So the chance of me getting the Noxious Bomb back is a craft 7 check. So that's D8 +3. Again, I could throw cards away to do this, but I don't think I can because I don't think I have any. 8. Yep, so it's recharged instead. So the Noxious Bomb is at the bottom of my deck. Awesome. And then reset, which is 3 cards, light crossbow, guide, and an acid flask. Nice. Right, Kyra's go. If you're still in the chat, just let me know if it's still working fine. I don't know if anybody's watching. Currently, we have 4 concurrent viewers. So yeah, let me know if it's all working and it's still going okay. Kyra's go. When this is the hour, no effect. Now, does she want to give a card to somebody else? Do I have anything that would be useful for Fumbus? I don't think so. I think everything I probably need for myself. I think the reason why you might want to give cards to other people is because the new rules for this edition is you can only play 1 card of each type per check. So for example, if I had 2 blessings in hand, I could give one of them at this stage to Fumbus. No, that doesn't work. No, because you can only use 1 card per type. So forget that. Great show so far. Have to go to work in DC. Excellent. Good luck, Glenn. Thank you very much, Glenn, for watching, and good luck at work. Right. What am I doing? I think I'm just exploring. Yeah, we're going to explore. Where are we? We're at the lair. And we have found full plate armour. Ooh, I'd like this. It requires a Constitution or Fortitude check of 9. Neither of the... Oh, no, I have Constitution. No, I don't. No, I do. Constitution D6. Right, the chance of me actually getting this are very, very slim. And I don't think Fumbus can help me. And I can't use my diplomacy skill on the full plate. Nah. Okay, there's nothing I can do. I don't have any cards in hand that will allow me to boost my thing. Oh, I forgot Kyra's got a special ability as well. I just need to look at my special abilities. I know what Kyra's does. I just forgot about it. Mericial. When you would recharge or discard a knife, you can reload it instead. I need to remember that. And on your combat check, you can discard a card to add a d6. Okay, cool. Audio and video are all clear and in sync. Excellent. Yeah, the one the other day, something went wrong with it. I don't know what, but there was a glitch at 7.5 minutes in, and from that point, the audio was a second out. What do you want, Loki? Are you hungry? It's not dinner time yet. That's it. You rub against the camera. Come on. Let's have a look what we're doing here. Right. What we're doing. What do you think? Oh, what do you think we should do? We found some full plate armour. Look. Yeah? You want it? We can't have it. Yeah, so back to the check. There's... Oh, so cute. There is nothing we can do to get this. So that gets banished. Right. We don't have any ability... Oh, no, we do. Acolyte. Discard to explore. We're going to have to. I think we're going to have to be because for me, discarding these cards is not really a problem because I'm a healer, so I can get the cards back. But I am going to discard this to explore again. This exploration on your wisdom and divine checks, add a d4. Okay, let's see what we've found. You're going to fall off. There you go. You stay there. Kind of don't want to let him on the table because we kind of keep them trained that they're not allowed to go on tables. Right, anyway, we found a flaming shortbow. This would have been a great weapon for Mauricial. Because Mauricial has... Oh, fell off. Mauricial has a shortbow, but she'd love this flaming shortbow. But the chance of picking it up is a dexterity, ranged or stealth. And again, these are not the skills we're looking for. But if I could get this, I would, and then I'd give it to Mauricial at the end of the scenario. So, is there anything I can do to boost my... I mean, my dexterity is a d4, so I'm absolutely useless at that. I don't have the ranged skill, and I don't have the stealth skill. So, again, no, there's nothing I can do about this. It's a really nice weapon, but sorry, Mauricial, we didn't actually find it. And I think that's it. He says I think that's it. I want to cycle some of my cards. So I'm actually... Yeah, let's do this. Let's use the Balmberry. On your turn, bury or banish to heal a local character a card or remove a scourge. And you can get a divine or survival 8 check to recharge the card. So I'm gonna banish this card. This is the thing. I asked a question about this because I didn't understand it. Bury means it's underneath my character card and it's gone for that scenario. But I will get it back at the end of the scenario. Banish is removed from the game, but there's a chance that I can recharge it instead. But if I fail the recharge check, I've lost the card. Which isn't that much of a problem, to be honest. Because it's just a level 0 card. And I can just get it back again if I need to. So, and a divine check of 8, my divine is... Yeah, so I'm going to do this. So I'm going to banish this card, but because it has a recovery power, it goes to my recovery area, to heal a local character a card. And I'm going to heal myself. Yeah, I'm going to heal myself. So I take one of these cards at random. And I'm going to shuffle it into my deck. Which one did I take? I took the Acolyte. And at the end of my turn, I can recharge a divine card, which is this. This is a divine card. I can recharge this to heal again. But I don't think I want to. Because I need to keep that if we come across a barrier. Yeah, okay, not going to do that. So now it is my recovery step, and I get to try and get this card, which is a divine 8 check. So D10 plus 3. Yep, so it is recharged. There we go. It's all going well so far. And then we draw back up to my hand size of 5. Okay, still not found my mace. Now it is, excuse me, Mauricial's turn. Let's do the hourglass, which I normally forget. When this is the hour, your knowledge check is blessed. Okay, it's probably not going to matter. Oh, I need to remember this. Story banes at this location are increased difficulty. Yeah, I need to remember that. So Mauricial, I believe, just explores her location. Is there anything that I want to do beforehand? No, there isn't. So we have found an ambush. It's a barrier 1, but it's not really a barrier. You know, it's not like a wall or a door or something like that. So, when examined, so if I was to have just examined this card, suddenly it would have triggered. I need to do a wisdom, perception, or stealth check. Oh, excellent. I have stealth. Stealth, D12 plus 2. And I need a 9. It's quite high. If undefeated, banish this barrier, and then a random local character summons and encounters a monster. That monster cannot be evaded. Yeah, basically, I've been ambushed. My stealth check is for me to try and sneak away from it. Have I got anything? So it's not a combat check. When you encounter a card, if you are the only local character, you may evade it. So if I wanted to, I could just evade this and put it back in. But I kind of don't want to because this is... My character's pretty good at this. Oh, I have my Thieves' Tools. Oh, but it's not a disable check. No, that makes sense. I like the way that all the keywords actually fit thematically. Of course, it's a disable check, and you don't disable an ambush or a lock or a trap. It's not a lock or a trap. So I'm rolling a d12 and adding 2, and I need a 9. That's not good. So, can somebody bless me? Nobody's got any blessings. Ah! Wow. Blessings are really important, and none of my characters currently have any. I mean, Kyra's got 5 in a deck. He's got 5 blessings in a deck. 2 of them are gone. Fumbus has got... Oh, he's got only 3. Anyway, I don't have any blessings, so... Yeah, well, let's see. Because even if I don't sneak away from the ambush, I'm going to fight a random monster. But that might not be too bad. So yeah, let's go for it. Let's do the d12 plus 2 to try and stealthily avoid the ambush. Yeah, 13. Did it. Awesome. Been quite lucky today with my dice rolls. So yeah, that's defeated. Gone. Right. I don't have anything that will allow me to explore again. And this is why sometimes at the end of your turn, when you reset, you might want to discard cards from your hand. Because although your cards are your life, you're on a timer. And me just exploring once because I've got cards in hand that are actually no use for the current situation is not really helping me at the moment. But I'm not going to. I'm gonna see how it goes. Fumbus's go. Advance the hour. We have when this is the hour when you would discard a boon to bless a dexterity or charisma check, you may recharge it instead. Right. Well, that's not going to happen because nobody's got any blessings. Right. Fumbus's go. What is Fumbus going to do? Is he going to give a card to Kyra? No, don't think so. Don't think I need to. Just looking at the cards that I've got. Yeah, don't think I need to do that. So let's just explore. So let's explore the lair. Is it the lair? Yeah, it's the lair. And we've found a barrier. We're coming across all the barriers. Now, this might be quite good. I have got a card, Confusion. When you encounter a monster, a task barrier. Oh, it's not a task barrier. Okay, forget that. So I'm going to have, it's a spiked volley. Basically, a load of spears are flying at me. I've got to do a dexterity, an acrobats, or disable check. Oh, he's actually quite good at disable. Well, he's got D10. Oh, but I need a 9. Yeah. So it'll be a D10 with no modifier, and I need a 9. Right. What other options do we have? Fumbus has a special ability. On a local combat check, oh yeah, or if you improve it, a local check to defeat an obstacle or trap. No. Right. Have I got anything that will improve my dexterity, acrobatics, or disable? Well, I don't have acrobatic skills, so I'm looking for something that will enable me to either evade this, and I don't think I've got anything. Combat check, combat check. I'm all tooled up for combat. I'm going to be fighting the monsters soon. Get these barriers out of the way. I really need Merisiel to come here and get rid of this with her thieves' tools. But I don't have anything. On a local check to acquire? No. On a local wisdom or divine check? No. On any check to defeat a barrier? Oh, here we go. Got it. Divine Insight. Kyra has had Divine Insight since the start of the scenario. On any check to defeat a barrier, banish it to add 2d6. I'm going to put it sideways because there's a chance that I'm going to get it back. Right, that's all I can do. So let's see what we get. Now, we've rolled gaming rules, which is 6, obviously, plus another 6, 12, 13, done. Whew. Thankfully, Kyra's Divine Insight. Whew. Yeah, right. Do we want to explore again? We could, because I have the guide. But the guide is really good for closing locations because you get an extra d6. So I was going to keep that to close the location. I just don't know if we're progressing fast enough. And where's the villain? The villain is in one of these 3 locations here. I think we might still play it safe for now. And again, I could discard some of these cards to reset, but I'm not going to. I'm fine for health. Health is your deck of cards, and I'm absolutely fine for the moment. So at the end of Fumbus's turn, he's at 6 cards, so he doesn't have to reset. We do the recovery step. I need a Divine 8 check for Kyra. So D10 plus 3. D10 plus 3, and I need an 8. Oh, doesn't count if it doesn't land in the box. We've rolled an 11, so that gets recharged. Yeah, we are being quite lucky with the dice rolls tonight. I'll say tonight. It's 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Right, where are we up to? Kyra's go. So, advance the hour. Right, Torag's power. When this is the hour, when you would discard a boon to bless a strength or constitution check, you may recharge it instead. Right. Do we want to move on somewhere else? Is it... Because these 2 have been together. I think we still want to stick together, just for now. Right, let's explore the location. Do we want to give a card away? No. It's the Kobold Champion. Right, so it's not the villain, but it's one of the henchmen, and it's a closing henchman. Oh, I did something wrong. I've done something wrong. Apologies for those people watching, but I said nothing special happened when you got rid of the Inferno Trap. And it does. The Inferno Trap is a closing henchman. Therefore, when I got rid of this Inferno Trap earlier, I should have had a chance to close this location. And it was Merisial, wasn't it? Yeah, it was Merisial. So I'm going to quickly rewind time, and we're going to try and close this location. Either bury an ally or succeed on a Disable 7 check. Disable 7, D12 plus 2. Yeah, done. So this location is actually closed. And Merisial is going to move. Where are we going to move? Here. Move to the caves. Right, okay. Apologies for that. Oh, I've got to look through it, haven't I? Because the villain might have been here. Is that what happens when you close a location? I mean, it must be. I mean, I know it's not there, but... Closing henchman. Henchman closing a location. Villain step, villain step, villain step. It's definitely in here. Let's have a look in the rules. Those people who know the game are probably shouting at the screen right now, telling me I'm being stupid, which I probably am. Yeah, you can't accidentally just get rid of the villain. Right, henchman. Closing henchman allow you to close your location. See closing locations on page 15. That's where I was. Was it? No, it wasn't. Right. Closing your location. You may in the opportunity, yeah, if a scenario lists the henchman with the word closing, you may attempt to close the location. If your location is empty, you may close it in the, yeah, you may never attempt to close a distant location or a location that is guarded. Okay. When you have the opportunity to close it, do whatever the location's to close check is. I did that. Oh, then there's the when closed effect, which is you may draw a new ally. Okay, so I'll be doing that. Ally, ally. Who was in the cells? Yeah, search the location for villains. If you didn't find any banish or non-villain cards, the location is closed, but at least you know where those villains are. So, search the location for villains. Nope, no villains. Knew there wasn't because that was guarded earlier on. I draw a new ally. which is a bat, and a draw, I think. It's not summon and encounter, it's draw. So it goes into a hand, which means she would have then had to discard because she was over a hand size. So let's discard the Codex. Right, that was all on Mauricio's last turn. If you did find a villain, what would you do? Yep, done that. If you find any, banish all non-villain cards. The location is not closed, but at least you know where those villains are. Oh, right, so it stays there with the villain if there was a villain at the location, and then it's not closed. Interesting. Okay, right. So, meanwhile, fighting the Kobold Champion, which is a closing henchman, which means that will close this location as well. It's almost closed anyway. Right, we need a combat check of 12. Before acting, succeed on an intelligence, craft, disable or perception check, or suffer 1d4 poison damage. Do we have perception? No, can't see anything. Do we have disable? No. Craft? No. Intelligence? My intelligence is D6 and I need a 5. Oh. This is not good. He's gonna poison me before I even... So he spits poison at me or something like that. I don't think anybody else has got any cards that they can use to help me. So I am just going to do an intelligence check. And yeah, my intelligence is D6. Come on, gaming rules dice. Oops, that was a 6. It's a 2. So I suffer 1d4 poison damage. 2 poison damage. Now I have some braces of protection. When you suffer combat damage, it's not combat damage. When you suffer any damage, recharge it to reduce by 1. So I might as well recharge that card to reduce the damage by 1. And then I take 1 damage. And I'm going to lose the... Oh, I'm fighting the Kobold Champion and I don't really have any weapons. This is not good. So I'm going to lose that one. So that's the 2 damage from the poison. Now I have to fight it. All I have is my returning star knife. For your combat check, reveal to use strength, dexterity, acrobatics, melee, or ranged. I have melee. So I have melee of d8 plus 2, but because of the returning star knife, I can add a d4 and another 1. So we are d8 plus d4 plus 3, which is an average of 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I need 12. On a local combat check, which it is, freely reload to add 1d4, and you can use this power even if you have previously revealed this card on this check. So we're going to freely reload it. Reload is top of the deck to add another d4. And... Ooh. Fumbus is at the location. So we have, on a local combat check, freely recharge to add 1d4. Yeah, so I'm going to recharge that to add another d4. And let's go for this. So it's all of these plus a d3. Just going to check the colour on this camera. It looks a bit bright. Is that better? Yeah, anyway. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 12, 13, 14, 17. You gone. Yep, gone. Right, so that's the Kobold Champion defeated. It's a closing henchman, so we get a chance to close the location. Now, whose turn is it? It's Kyra's turn. So, that's good because we need to do a strength or melee check of 6. And her melee is d8 plus 2. Because her strength is a d6 and her melee is strength plus 2. And I need 6. So I need to roll a 4 on that. So I have a 62.5% chance of success. Is there anything I can do to boost it? Yes, the guide. On a local check to close or guard, which is what this is, recharge to add 1d6. So I'm going to recharge that to add a d6. Let's make the roll, see what we get. 7, 8, 9. Yes. So I look through this to see if there's any villains, which there isn't. So we do the closed effect, which is no effect. That gets closed. We only have 2 locations left. We now move to a new location. We're going to move here. How are we doing? Have I been doing something wrong? Yes. Before you encounter the Kobold Champion. So I need to rewind that because that was the Kobold Champion. Knew there was something I'd forget to do. Right. Too many things to remember in this game, just when I started to feel confident. So that's happened, right? That's the fight with the Kobold Champion done. But before that happened, before you encounter the Kobold Champion, each character, not just each local character, but each character summons and encounters the Storybane Ancient Skeleton. So everybody meets this first. I'm just going to have to go through my characters one at a time and fight it. Oh, and is that the location that adds +2 to Storybane checks? Yes, it was. Thank you for reminding me. But I rolled like a bazillion anyway, didn't I? So I'm okay at defeating the Kobold Champion. What I forgot to do is I forgot to do the bit that's in the scenario book, which says before you encounter the Kobold Champion. I think next time I play this, I'm actually going to put a piece of paper in this card as a reminder to look at that. That's what I'm going to do. So yes, so we need to do the Ancient Skeleton before that happened. Before acting, either recharge a divine card or suffer 1 combat damage. Well, that will be that then. And then I just fight it and I lose. And I take loads of damage. I don't have any cards in hand. Ah. I'm going to have to rewind, aren't I? Because didn't I... Yeah. Okay. I'm going to have to rewind. What did we use against the Kobold Champion? We used, I think, the Acolyte. Oh, if I can only watch the video. Can anybody remember? I mean, I used my Star Knife when fighting the Kobold Champion. I remember that. I had that in hand and I had that in hand. And I think that was it. Did I have the Braces of Protection? When did I use the Braces of Protection? I used that when I took 2 damage. Ah, that was the poison damage. Yes. So I took the 2 poison damage, which was that and that. Yep, okay, right. So that's that rewound. And over here, have I rewound this? I think I probably have. Star Knife. That's what we had. Anything else? Guide. We had the guide. Right. We have successfully rewound. We are still at this location. We're about to fight the Kobold Champion. But before that, the Ancient Skeleton pops up. So, let's go again. Before acting, either recharge a divine card or suffer 1 combat damage. Do I have a divine card? No. So I suffer a combat damage, but I can, when you suffer combat damage, freely reveal to reduce it by 1. Done. Now I have to fight it, and it's 13. Wow. Oh, I see. This is going to pop up, reduce all of our cards, which means we then can't defeat the Kobold Champion. Wowzers. Okay, well, I'm going to have to use my Returning Star Knife on this. So my combat is D8 plus 2. No, I'm never going to get this. I need 13. Yeah, reveal this to use an extra D4 plus 1. And I could reload it to add a D4. The problem is, if I reload this, it's not then there for when I fight the Kobold Champion. I don't think I'm going to be able to defeat that Kobold Champion. This Ancient Skeleton is really tough. Oh, also, the difficulty to defeat Storybanes is increased by 2. This is awful, so I need a 15. It's not going to happen at all, is it? So actually, I am going to reload this just so I don't lose it. So that's that freely reloaded. There you go. And Fumbus is going to keep those cards in hand. I think. Then again, he's got an acid flask. Do we want to do that? Is the acid flask going to help him? Yeah, okay. So we will use the star knife. So freely recharge to add another D4. Can we do this now? What's that? 4.5, 7, 12, 15. What do I need? 15. 15 is the average. Don't think there's anything else I can do. So let's go for it. So we're fighting the ancient skeleton with all sorts of things thrown in from various places. How are we doing? We have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Failed by 2. So I'm going to freely reveal that to reduce the damage by 1. There you go, revealed. And then I'm going to take the damage on the Acolyte. So that's that ancient skeleton done. Now we have Merisiel fighting the ancient skeleton. Oh boy. Now, when you are encountering a card, if you are the only local character, you may evade it. Done. Evaded. Right. Fumbus. 15. Got to get 15. Wow. So, Acid Flask. For your combat check, banish to use Dexterity, Craft or Ranged plus 2d6. So Craft is d8 plus 3. d8 plus 3 plus 2d6. So that's an average of 12. That's an average of 15. It's not going to get banished because there's a recovery step. So that goes there. Yeah, I think that's it. Nobody else can help out now. On another local character. No. Yeah, Merisiel should be there as well. Okay, so it's this. Fighting the ancient skeleton, which is immune to cold, mental and poisoning, and vulnerable to bludgeoning. Oh, so if I attacked it with a bludgeoning weapon, which I didn't. Cold, mental and poison. No, that's a shame because I've got a mace in this deck. If I had a mace, I'd have been fine. Anyway, immune to cold, mental and poison. Is this cold, mental and poison? No. And what about the card that I recharged? No. Vulnerable to bludgeoning. Yeah, no, the acid flask is not a bludgeoning weapon, I'm afraid. So it is just this. And we've rolled 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And we needed 15. So we take 3 damage. Ouch. 3 damage. Well, I think what I'm going to do... Tell you what I should have done. I should have just cast Confusion. When you encounter a monster, a task barrier or an ally, banish to evade it. That's what I should have done. Silly me. Oh no, it's mental. So I don't think you can. No, I don't think you can because this is immune to mental. Yeah, let's go with that. Right. So my choices are, I lose these 3 cards and then I could use my Elixir of Healing to basically get them back. But I think we're all right for healing at the moment. It's time that's going to be the problem. Time is going to be the problem. I'm not sure what to do. Let's lose these 3 cards. Okay. So, that was everybody fighting the ancient skeleton, which is the scenario effect Character summons and encounters the Storybane Ancient Skeleton. Now we're fighting the Kobold Champion. However, now things are looking a little bit worse. So let's assume the same rolls has happened as before. So I take 2 poison damage, which is recharge to reduce that by 1 and then take that 1. But now in the fight, there's nothing I can do, so I lose the fight. And I take loads of damage, so I lose all the cards in my hand. I mean, I still get D8 plus 2. So I still get 10. I only missed it by 4. So it is undefeated, and it gets... Oh, it's undefeated, so another character can bury a card to avenge, which is a really cool mechanism. But there's no point. Because if he recharges that card, he hasn't got anything, so he doesn't. So that just gets shuffled in. Right, at the end of Kyra's turn, that was a long turn. And I say, I am making mistakes, but I think I'm managing to pick up on most of them until somebody mails in at the end and tells me I've got it all wrong. So we get a chance to get this back. Is a D8 plus 3, which is a craft check for me, and I need a 6. No. If proficient, you may succeed at a craft 6 check to recharge the card. I didn't, so it's gone. I've actually lost it. I've lost my acid flask. Oh dear. Well, it's all right. It's an item 0, so I can always just... Basically, at the end of each adventure, you rebuild your deck, and you can have as many item 0 cards as you want. That's Kyra's go done. Draw back up to my hand size of 5. There's the mace. Right. Mirisil. Advance the hour. The Fiend. When this is the hour. When you suffer a scourge on your turn, each local character suffers it. Doesn't say also, it should say also, I think. Right. What are we going to do? Are we going to explore? I think we are. Yep, let's explore. Don't want to reveal anything. I've got my leather armour on. So what have we found? We found a magic chain shirt, which again, it'd be nice to give to Kyra at the end of the scenario. Constitution or Fortitude 7. Right. That would be a no then. Now, we have blessings in hand now, but I don't think we want to do them. I think we need to be saving those for fighting the big monsters, because that is pretty tough. We've still got the villain out there as well. So I don't think I'm going to throw stuff at this to try and get it. Disable check, no, 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 and no. I could recharge, after the roll, recharge to add 1. Or bury it to re-roll. It's not worth it. No, it's not worth it. My constitution is D6. Oh, no, there you go, it's gone. I'm then going to discard the bat to explore again. Discard to explore. This exploration on your ranged and survival checks, add 1d4. Let's see what we found. We found a monster. It's an Alip. It's an undead, an incorporeal undead that's immune to mental and poison. Now, I have encountered a card. I could evade it if I want to, but I want to get rid of it. Combat 14. Right. Well, I have a rapier. For your combat check, freely reveal. There you go, revealed. To use your strength, acrobatics, or melee, and my acrobatics is D12 plus 2. So let's add this up. If I was to fight it, it's D12 plus 2 plus a D6. That is an average of 11. What do I need? 14, right? If proficient, and Mirisil is proficient in weapons, you may additionally reload it to add another D4. Let's do that. Top of the deck, add another D4, right? Also, Fumbus. Fumbus is at a distant location, and he can use his light crossbow on a distant combat check, freely discard to add a D8. So that gets discarded. We're going to add in a D8. It means Fumbus isn't going to do anything on his turn because he's got no cards. And then we really need Kyra to start healing Fumbus. Well, actually, we don't because we've still got loads of cards in the deck. So we're okay. Right, this should be enough Fumbus is helping out, shooting a crossbow. It's immune to mental and poison. I've not used any mental or poison things. Oh, if the check to defeat does not have the magic trait, this monster is undefeated. What did I use? I used a rapier. It's not magic. Okay, so forget this. I'm not using the rapier. Instead, I'm using the allying dart because that has the magic trait. Because otherwise, it won't be defeated. So let's just go back over this. I'm using dexterity or ranged. So I'm using my... Oh, I don't have ranged. I have dexterity, D12. D12 plus a D4 plus 1. And you may additionally discard to re-roll. And then the light crossbow is still being used, and that adds a D8. Is this going to do it? Average of 5, 6, 7, 13, 14. It's an average of 14, and I can discard this to re-roll. Can I do anything else? I don't think I can. Just having a look at my other cards. Just having a look at my special abilities. Aha. On your combat check, this is a combat check, you may discard a card to add a D6. Let's discard the Thieves' Tools in the hope that we're not going to find any other barriers. Right, done. Let's roll. See what we get. 8, 10, 13, 14, 15. Yes, just. Immune to mental and poison. I don't think I've used mental and poison, did I? No. Right, that is done. That is defeated. Awesome sauce. Did I explore with the bat? I should have added a D4. Never mind. There's so many things to forget. But that's only if it was a ranged check, and it wasn't a ranged check because I don't have the ranged ability. Right. I think Marisial is done. I am not going to discard to explore again. So I'm just going to draw back up to my hand size. Nice. Nice. Right. Now it is Fumbus's go. Fumbus is going to advance the hour when this is no effect. And I don't think Fumbus is going to explore. It's way too dangerous. So Fumbus is just going to not do anything and then just draw 6 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right, we need to get some healing into Fumbus's deck because if you ever draw cards and you can't, you die. Kyra's go. Advance the hour. When this is the hour, on your check against an outsider, add a D4. Now, give a card to somebody else. No, not going to do that. We can do a bit of healing at the end. We could do that as well at the end. I think we're just going to explore. We've nothing to display. I have a covering heavy shield. So we're going to explore. Or do we want to move? Because we know that the champion's here. I don't think we want to stay here. I think we want to find the villain. But we want to leave somebody here to perhaps guard this location. And then the villain is locked down. Interesting. Because fighting that champion means fighting the skeleton. And that skeleton is tough. Although I now have a mace and a shield. Let's go for it. Let's stay here. I'm just thinking. No, I'm going to go somewhere else. Bear with me. This is what I think I'm going to do. Because I don't think the villain is here. I think the Kobold Champion is here, and I don't really want to fight the Kobold Champion again. So, we're going here. That's the movement. We can move there. But we now cannot leave from here because we're now in the twisty passages. We now explore. We have found a gem of mental acuity. Chance to acquire it is intelligence, wisdom or charisma 11. Well, my charisma is D8, so forget that. My wisdom is D10, so forget that. And my intelligence is D6, so forget that. Now, do I have anything that can boost it? I don't want to be using my blessings. It's not an outsider. No. I don't want to be using my blessings for this. So I think, yeah, we don't really want it anyway. Done. At the end of my turn. Oh. Right. Another mistake made. Kyra has a power on your local check against an undead. Add a D4. She was fighting the ancient skeleton. Forgot to add the D4. So many little mistakes that I'm making. Hopefully, with more experience at this game, I'll be able to remember everything. But there's a lot going on. There is so much going on. So yeah, at the end of your turn, you can recharge a divine card to heal a local character by a card. So I'm going to discard... I'm going to discard Iomede's Justice. Is it discard? No, recharge a divine card. It is a divine card. Recharge that to heal a local character, and I am the only local character now, by a card. So what card's going back in my deck is this one. Okay, so there in my discard pile. That gets shuffled in. That is the end of Kyra's go. Merisiel. Advance the hour. When this is the hour, no effect. Right. What is Merisiel going to do? Merisiel is going to explore. Unless we want to go here. No, we're going to explore here. Right. Henchman proxy. So the henchman proxy in this scenario is the kobold hordes. And if we decide to use diplomacy, because we've got this, we get a D4. And if not defeated by at least 4, suffer one ranged combat damage and then shuffle this monster into its location. Right, that's not good. So, now I could evade it. I'm the only local character. I could evade it. I don't think I want to, because this is a closing henchman. Which means if I defeat it, I can close this location. Let's do that. So, I'm not going to do the diplomacy, so I'm going to do a combat check of 11. It's not immune, it's not vulnerable, it's nothing like that. So I'm going to use my rapier. I'm going to use my acrobatics plus a D6. So my acrobatics is D12 plus 2 plus a D6. And I only need an 11. So is this... this is an average of 10. This is an average of 12. If proficient, you may reload it to add a D4. So I am. Bop, de-bop. And I think that's it. Now, on any check, discard to bless. On any check, on another character's check, discard to bless. So we have cards that will allow me to bless the check. Why did I get rid of the Thieves' Tools? I need to... Oh, stupid. But by using these cards, this is life from Fumbus. So I've got to think, am I going to do it on this? And how important is it for me to do it? It is pretty important for me to do it. So let's say I roll quite low. Let's say I roll that. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's not enough if I roll that bad. But I do have a luck stone. Let's just go for it. Yeah, you save your cards, Fumbus. So we're going to fight the Kobold Horde. We're not going to use the diplomacy. Oh, I can discard a card to add a D6. But it's discarding. But let's do it. Let's discard the Craftsman to add another D6. So we definitely should do it now. Yeah, oh, easily. 11, 17, 20, 23, 25. Boom. Right, done. So that is that gone. We get a chance to close the location. which is summon and defeat the danger. Oh, which is a random one, isn't it? Okay. Let's just roll the dice. Evens, left, odds, right. It's the Kobold Horde again. Oh, it's another Horde. Right, combat check of 11, but this time I've used my stuff. So let's use the allying dart. So it's my dexterity check, which is d12, plus a d4, plus 1, and it has the magic trait now, I think. I think so. Yep. Is that going to be 11? No, that's not going to be 11. But this is where I can... It is a combat check, so I'm going to discard a card to add another d6. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And I can add 1 if I need to. Oh, and I can additionally discard this to re-roll. So we're okay. I think we should be fine. Fighting the Kobold Horde again. 6, 10, 11, 12. Did it. Right, so we summoned and defeated the danger, which is what we needed to close the location. So then what we do is we look through here and we see if we find a villain, and we found the villain. So we banish all non-villain cards. Let's just make sure I get this right, because I haven't done this before. If you find any villains, banish all non-villain cards from the location. The location is not closed, but at least you know where those villains are. There. And that's it. So the location is not closed, but that's where the villain is. Basically, I can just ignore this now, come back here later when we've closed the other 2 locations. Right, we're good. So, end of turn, redraw back to hand size. I'm getting really hungry. Apologies if you can hear my stomach rumbling on camera. I'll drink some water. That'll fill me up a bit. Right, where are we up to? Fumbus's turn. Fumbus is getting a bit low on health when this is the hour no effect. So Fumbus kind of wants to go to Kyra. Heal me, heal me. So that's the movement done. That's after you give a card, so I can't give a card to somebody. And we don't have to explore, but I'm going to. Now I have this anti-plague card, display next to a local character, and on checks against disease and poison, add a d8. But that's a card gone, and I want cards in my hand. So I'm going to discard the Spyglass, he says, after just saying he wants cards in hand. Discard the Spyglass to examine the top 2 cards of your location and return them in any order. This will be helpful. Right, really good. This, because we have a barrier, and we have a skeletal owl beast. And the skeletal owl beast is vulnerable to bludgeoning, so we want Kyra to defeat that. And the labyrinth is intelligence, knowledge, perception, or survival. We don't have any of those. Wow. We're going to be really rubbish at getting past this. That's interesting. There's a labyrinth inside the twisty passages. It's quite thematic. Yeah, that's really tough. Intelligence and knowledge of 7. Okay, so Fumbus could do it. Or perception, survival. Okay, let's do that. Let's put them back on top in that order. And then Fumbus is going to have a go. We are going to now draw and encounter the labyrinth. And we're going to try to do an intelligence check of d8 to try and defeat the labyrinth. Now, it's an obstacle, and on a local check to defeat an obstacle, banish to add 2d4 and the fire trait. So 2d4, I get a chance to recover it because it's alchemical. So 2d4 and the fire. Basically, I'm using my blast stone to blow the labyrinth, or blow a wall in the labyrinth. So the chance of this happening is now 9, and I only need a 7. So that's pretty good. I don't want to bless it. No, let's just go with that. See what we get. 3. Triple one. So, if undefeated, which it is, shuffle a new barrier into each location and become dazed. And that's in addition to this one. Oh dear. So we go to the barriers. Triple one. Have I not got anything that can... No, at least I didn't take any damage. Okay, so we're going to shuffle a new barrier into each location, which means I need to get some sleeves. Again, once all my cards are sleeved, this will save a lot less time, because it's taking me at the moment about an hour or about half an hour to set up each scenario, which is, you know, I did this last night. It's creating the locations and doing everything else. And if your cards were sleeved, it would take a lot less time. So that's going to get shuffled back into there. Unfortunately, that means the knowledge of that card that we knew was coming is gone. Right, this barrier gets shuffled into here. And unfortunately, that means that there's a barrier in the caves as well. Rick's back. Hello, Rick. You're home then. I'm still playing. And I'm on limited time, literally because of that and real time. Right. What's happened? That was Fumbus, found the labyrinth, used the blast stone, tried to get the way out and rolled triple one. So I don't think we're going to explore again, or are we? No, we're not. And I get a try to make this back. Craft 6 to get the card back. D8 plus 3. 5, no. So that's gone as well. Oh, but no. Wait a minute. I just remembered. Fumbus has a special ability. During recovery, when you banish an when you would banish an alchemical boon, you may discard it instead. Right, so they're not banished, they are discarded. Draw 2 cards. End of my turn. Oh, it's getting close. Definitely getting close. So we need some healing. We desperately need some healing. Right, Kyra's go. Advance the hour. No effect. I don't have a cure spell in hand. So we're going to have to explore the location and see what we find. It's a shrieky plant. We've really not been lucky with barriers. Excuse me. Wisdom, oh, this is fine. I need a wisdom check of 8 to get past it. Or a stealth survival 6. Yeah, that's fine. Wisdom is D10. So, well, I say it's fine. Actually, it's not. I need an 8. If undefeated, summon and encounter a monster. And if that monster is defeated, banish this barrier. So basically, it's a shrieky plant. It's shrieked. If I manage to use my wisdom, I can stop it doing that. Otherwise, it's going to summon a random monster. But again, I don't really want to start throwing bless cards at this when Fumbus is the one that really needs the help at the moment. And I think because we're tooled up, we'll just do it and see if it does go wrong. We'll summon a monster and we'll fight the monster. Yeah, so we failed. So if undefeated, summon and encounter a monster. So we get the monsters from the box. There doesn't appear to be that many. Oh, that's not got all of them. Right, there's a lot of getting cards from the box today. So the shrieky plant has shrieked and drawn the attention of a werewolf. If the hour's level is 0, it is. The difficulty to defeat is increased by 3. Oh joy. If undefeated, suffer the scourge. Oh, there's something else I forgot as well. There was the labyrinth. What did the labyrinth do? If undefeated, shuffle a new barrier and suffer the scourge dazed. Yeah, so Fumbus is dazed. See, I'm forgetting things all the time, but then I'm remembering. Dazed. So Fumbus is dazed, which means you may not examine locations. If you didn't suffer the scourge on this turn, at the end of your turn, shuffle your hand into your deck and remove this scourge. Right, so on on his next turn, basically, he's going to shuffle his hand. Right. Anyway, meanwhile, back to the werewolf. Combat of 11. Right, so I am probably going to use my mace. I'm going to reveal my mace, which is strength, which is melee plus d8. My melee is d8 plus 2. So melee plus 2 plus a d8. So an average of this is 11, which is enough. You may additionally discard to ignore its after-acting powers. It doesn't have any after-acting powers, and I don't want to discard it. A question in from David. Notice sessions 1 and 3 you are playing solo, and session 2 was with 2 other players. 2 separate campaigns. No, it's the same campaign, David. But basically, I'm doing this one in an afternoon. When there's other people available, I'll get them round. And when they're not available, I am taking on their characters for them. Otherwise, I'm only going to be playing this once every 2 months, which is, not as much as I want to play it. So if there's other people available, they will join in. It is the same campaign. It is the same characters. And this is the next scenario. And we are about to bash a werewolf with a mace. Now, Fimbus is there. Can he help out? Does he want to help out? Does he want to use any cards? I don't think he does. Needs to keep his cards. Now, I have a covering heavy shield, which says, if proficient with shields offhand or magic. Oh, I'm not. Oh, well, if I was, I could freely recharge it to roll a dice. Oh, is it an undead? No. Is it an outsider? No. Okay. Don't get that. I'm trying to think of things that I've forgotten. Nothing on the location, nothing in the scenario, nothing on the hourglass. Right, so it is just 2d8 plus 2. The other option, just checking in before games night. Hello, Derek. Thank you very much for joining me. I've made tons of mistakes. I have corrected most of them. So you'll be shouting at the screen when you watch it back. Instead of hitting it with the mace, I could use Life Drain. Because the advantage is that after using Life Drain, I get to heal a card. But I was going to recharge this to heal a card at the end of my turn anyway. So I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to hit it with the mace. 2d8 plus 2. Bosh to the werewolf. 15. Yes. So I've defeated the werewolf. Which means, if that monster is defeated, banish this barrier. Done. Right. They're out of the way. At the end of Kyra's turn, I am going to recharge a divine card to heal a local character by 1 card. And that will be Fimbus. That's displayed, isn't it? Yeah. So actually, Fimbus has only got 1 card in deck. Yeah, there's one bit, Derek, where I had to do a complete rewind because I fought a thing and then forgot that I was supposed to summon, all characters were supposed to summon an ancient skeleton first. And it turns out the ancient skeleton is really tough. Right, there's the card. The light crossbow gets shuffled back into the deck. And that is Kyra's go. She can't explore again. She's done her end of turn stuff. So she draws 2 cards. Come on, where's that cure? It's not there. It is in the deck. I didn't take it out. Right, Merisial. What's Merisial doing? Definitely want to move from this location because this is where the villain is. We've now found the villain. The villain is here. We do not want to fight the villain until the other locations are closed. So we're going to move to the lair so that she's on her own. And that's displayed. Where am I going to put the displayed cards? I don't have enough room. We're going to explore this location. And it is a blessing. It is the juggler. Check to acquire dexterity or acrobatics. Awesome. Acrobatics is d12 plus 2. Finally, did we draw an hourglass? No, we didn't draw an hourglass. Draw an hourglass. When you would encounter a non-story bane barrier, banish it instead and summon and encounter a task barrier. Okay? That's not going to happen. Yeah, so d12 plus 2 and I need a 5. And if I get it, great. No. All the dice rolls have suddenly gone. Skeletons is easy if you have a blunt weapon. Yeah, my mace was in my back pocket. I couldn't find it in time. So I didn't get it. Although I do have my luck stone. I've missed by 1. So I am going to use my luck stone. On your check, after the roll, recharge to add 1. Done. Add 1. I have now got this. That goes here. Now, do I want to keep it? Or do I want to discard it to explore? I think we're going to discard the cat to explore. This exploration, on checks that invoke the magic trait, add 1d4. So we're going to explore again, and we found a barrier. It's perplexing text. I need to do a knowledge or intelligence check of 8. If undefeated, end your turn. Which is fine. Can I do anything about that? Intelligence or knowledge? My intelligence is D4. So that's not going to work, that's not going to work, that's not going to work. I don't get the extra D4 for that. So I think that's it. Yeah. We need to get a character here who's got those skills. And is anybody intelligent? I don't think anybody. Intelligence D8. Wow. Yeah, that's going to be tricky. That is a tricky barrier to get past. So, I mean, it says end your turn. So that gets shuffled in because it's undefeated. I wonder if it literally means end your turn or proceed to your end of turn sequence. Like, do I get to reset my cards? Do I get to do any of that stuff? I don't know where this would be. Turn. Probably not. Yeah, so there's a question, Derek. The card has told me to end my turn. Do I actually go through my end of turn sequence? I think I do. Yeah, apply your end of turn stuff. My turn is over, and at the end of my turn, I do all of this stuff. So, draw another card. Now we get the blessings. Right, Fumbus. As long as Fumbus doesn't use more than 2 cards, we're okay. Oh, we are so running out of time. Yeah, I don't know whether we're going to do this. When this is the hour, no effect. Right. We can't keep doing nothing, so we have an elixir of energy resistance, which is display. When you suffer acid, cold, or electricity or fire damage, reduce it by 1. But again, displaying cards is great, but that's reducing cards from my hand, and I need healing. I desperately need healing. So Fumbus is just going to try and effectively hold station while he gets healed. But we can't just do nothing, so we are going to explore. Free explore. It's a skeletal owl beast. Oh dear. Vulnerable to cold, mental, and poison, and vulnerable to bludgeoning. Well, I have a noxious bomb and an acid arrow, and I can bless it. Before acting, succeed at an acrobatics, melee, or perception 5 check, or suffer 2 combat damage. Right. Well, acrobatics we don't have. Perception we don't have. Melee we don't have. And if you don't have a skill, you get a D4. So, unless I'm going to bless that to get 2d4, which I could do, I'm not going to bother. I'm just going to suffer 2 combat damage. And hide armor. When you suffer cold or combat damage, you may recharge it to reduce by 1. And on your combat, constitution, or fortitude check, recharge it to add your survival modifier. It doesn't have a survival modifier. This is a bit rubbish, this armor for him. So when you suffer cold or combat damage, recharge it to reduce by 1. So I'm going to recharge that. Oh, that's good. It's got to get back into my deck. So I only take 1 damage. And I'm going to get rid of anti-plague. What are these cards? That's my discard. Right. So that's the 2 combat damage before I acted. Now, do I want to use the noxious bomb, which would be my dexterity? Oh, it would be craft, D8 plus 3 plus 2d6. Which is liquid, alchemical, attack, and poison. It's immune to poison, so I can't use that. I can't use the noxious bomb. That makes sense. I could use the acid arrow. It's not immune to acid. So I could use the acid arrow, which is my arcane check, which is intelligence plus 1. So that's D8 plus 1 plus 2d4. The average of that is 4, 9, 10 and a half. Wow, that's nowhere near. That is nowhere near at all. But I think this is my best chance. Yeah, this is my best chance. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to do Acid Arrow, which is banish, but it's not banish because it's got a recovery power. And Kyra is going to come along. What is it weak against? It's not. Oh, vulnerable to bludgeoning. Yeah, and I don't have any bludgeoning stuff. So Kyra can come along and use Iom a Day's Justice on another character's check to defeat, which is what this is. Discard to add a d12 and it counts as blessed. That should do it. That should do it, he says. 7, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Dead. Right, okay. What was it? Skeletal Owlbear? Skeletal Owl Beast. Yeah, Skeletal Owl Beast. Dead. Right. Phew. So that was Fumbus's go. Fumbus is going to end his turn there, and at the end of the turn, I get excuse me, I get to do an Arcane 6 check to recharge it. I don't have Arcane, so I can't recharge it, so it would be banished, but it's an Arcane attack spell, therefore it's discarded because of my special power. And then I draw back up to my hand size of 6. Oh dear. 1 card left in deck. Really need healing. Excuse me, I got something in my throat. Right. Why did I get rid of that elixir of healing earlier on? That was a really silly mistake. I thought I'd be okay. Yeah, really need to get that back. So, Fumbus is in trouble. And we're in trouble because I'm not getting anywhere fast and I'm running out of time. So, Kyra's go. When this is the hour, on your check to close or guard, add a d4. Right. Kyra is going to explore. And we've found, Pharasma's knowing, I need to succeed on a divine check of 5. My divine check is d8 plus 3. Sorry, d10 plus 3. My divine check is d10 plus 3. 6. Got it. Right. Excellent. Right. This doesn't have a discard to explore ability on it. That's a shame. It does have discard to draw 2 cards, then recharge cards. Oh, then you may explore. Right. So discard to draw 2 cards, then recharge 2 cards. Okay. That one. And is there still a barrier in here? I can't remember. I think there is. So I need to keep that because of the labyrinth. Oh, and there's Harrow Strike, which was really good. Yeah, so Rick, Harrow Strike, not as good as we thought. Basically, it only lasts for a turn. It's still good, but I'm going to recharge that. And I may then explore, which I will. It is an Evoker. The heck is this? It's a monster. It's a Halfling Veteran, Wizard Veteran. Check to defeat is Combat 12 or Intelligence Arcane 8. Well, I don't have Intelligence Arcane 8. So first thing to do is roll a d6 to see what type of Evoker it is. It is a Force Evoker. Okay. Before acting, a random local character suffers 1 damage. Okay, well, there are 2 characters there. So evens, it's Kyra. It's evens, so it's Kyra. So Kyra suffers 1 damage, which is not combat damage. It just says damage. Oh. Right, so I can't... oh, it's force damage. Right, and I don't have anything that stops force damage. So I'm going to take 1 damage. Well. Oh, is it going to be my shield? Because I want to keep my weapons so that I can actually kill this. Yeah, I'm gonna take the damage on my covering heavy shield. So now I'm fighting it. Right, I'm going to reveal my mace. For your combat check, reveal to use strength or melee plus 1d8. So that is 2d8 plus 2. And I'm going to use this ability. Against a monster, which it is, you may additionally discard it to ignore its after-acting powers, because otherwise, after-acting, suffer 1d4 damage. So I'm going to bash it over the head and stun it so it doesn't do its after-acting powers. I'm at 2d8 plus 2. The average of this is 11 and I need 12. Can Maricial do anything? No, but Fumbus can. Fumbus has got a star knife. On a local combat check, freely recharge to add a d4. There you go. Recharge, add a d4. Let's go with this. Oops. We're looking good. 12, 16, 18. Dead. That has gone. Right. And... oh, I wanted to keep this because of the labyrinth. What I'm thinking about is recharging this card to heal Fumbus again. But I'm not going to, because I need that card in hand for when we come across the labyrinth. Because, yeah, otherwise that labyrinth is going to absolutely screw us and keep putting barriers everywhere else. So, can't do that. End of turn. Is that a divine card? No, it's not. Right. Draw back up to my hand size. Come on, cure card. Yes. There it is. Now, so I was speaking to Derek the other day, and somebody else as well posted, thank you very much for the comment, but Kyra now has the card, Banish to heal a local character, 1d4 plus 1 cards. And I was asking when you can do this. Can you use this when it's not your turn? And I'm still not 100% sure, but I think somebody said, yes, you can. You can cast things even when it's not your turn, but not immediately after you've drawn it. So there's obviously these windows of opportunity that I want to kind of get to know. So I can use this on somebody else's turn, but apparently not right now. Anyway, Maricial's go. She's just going to advance the hour. No effect. Yeah, we have 3 cards left. And then we're going to explore. It's the Kobold Champion. Oh, I should have known the Kobold Champion was there. I forgot. Okay, so before you encounter the Kobold Champion, each character summons and encounters the Ancient Skeleton. So, Kyra encounters the Ancient Skeleton and she no longer has her mace. Oh dear, 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 dear. Now she does get extra 1d4 because it's an undead. So it's melee plus 2 plus a d4 from just a normal combat check is melee. Yeah, but that's not going to do it, is it? That's 5, 6, 7, 8. That's going to be 9. And I need... oh, at least it's only a 13 now. It's a 13 because it's at this location and not here. But still, that's a lot. So we're going to have to use the Returning Star Knife. So I get an extra d4 plus 1. d4 and another 1. So what's that? An average of 5, 9, 12. Not enough. And on a local combat check, freely reload to add 1d4, even if you've already used it. So that goes on there. And I add another d4. It's going to have to be it. Yeah, it's going to have to be it. It's immune to cold, mental, and poison. That's none of those. I've not used any cold, mental, and poison cards, I don't think. What did we do? Did we recharge that? No, we didn't. Right, so I think that's it. It's not going well. It's not going well. 3, 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Missed by 1. Ah! Which means I just take 1 damage. I don't want to lose any of these cards. It's going to have to be that one. Because I need the other ones so much. Right, that is Kyra. Now we have Merisiel summoning the Ancient Skeleton, and this time it's 15. But when you encounter a card, if you're the only character, you may evade it. So Merisiel evades the Ancient Skeleton. Fumbus, and I think we forgot to do the Dazed. I completely forgot to do the Dazed. If you didn't suffer the Scourge on this turn, at the end of your turn, shuffle your hand into your deck. Yeah, so I should have done the Dazed, which basically would have shuffled all of that in and then drawn 6 cards. But actually, there was something that should have been at the bottom of the deck. Okay, so let's assume I had the Star Knife and 5 other cards. I forgot to do the Dazed. Another thing that I forgot to do, not enough people in the chat to keep an eye on me. So this would have happened at the end of Fumbus's go. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then he recharged the Star Knife. It's probably no different at all, except we've got 2 blessings. Right. How are we doing? So, Ancient Skeleton. Fumbus is now encountering the Ancient Skeleton and needs a 13 to defeat it, and it's immune to cold, mental, and poison. And it's vulnerable to bludgeoning. Oh, I forgot. Before acting, either recharge a divine card or suffer a damage. Sorry, another thing that I forgot to do. So, Kyra would have had to recharge that card. And Fumbus is going to recharge that card. Right. Done that. Now we've got the combat check and I need to get 13. We have a Noxious Bomb, which is liquid alchemical attack and poison. Nope, it's immune to poison. We have a light crossbow. We can use the light crossbow, reveal it to use your dexterity or ranged plus a d8. My dexterity is d10 plus 1. So d10 plus 1 plus a d8. So that's just revealed. Right. Average of this is 5, 9, 10. And I need 13. So that's not going to happen. So I think we're going to bless it. Yep, I think we're going to bless it. Whose go is it? It's Merisiel's go. Right, so we're going to bless the check. So I add on my original dice again, which is another 10. So I need another d10. Oh, that's what that was. It's a 20-sided d10, which I don't like. But anyway, that's what we've got. Oh, there it is. Is that it? No, it's a d8. Yeah, I thought I had another d10 somewhere. Never mind. So this should do it. Oh, hang on. No. Merisiel's going to do it. On another character's check, freely on any check, discard to bless. Right, so Merisiel has blessed Fumbus fighting the Ancient Skeleton. Right. 8, 17, 19, 20. Right, that's the Ancient Skeleton gone. So now we have Merisiel fighting the Kobold Champion. Before acting, succeed at an Intelligence, Craft, Disable or Perception check of 5. We have Disable. We have Disable at D12 plus 2. Failed. Wow. Do I want to re-roll that? Because otherwise I'm taking a D4 poison damage, which could wipe me out of cards. Oh dear. Oh, I've got leather armour. So this will be fine. I'm not going to re-roll it. I'm going to take the damage. Okay, so I'm taking a D4 poison damage. 3 poison damage, but what I'm going to do is I am going to bury. When you suffer any damage, you may bury to reduce to 0. So that card has gone. Damage reduced to 0. Now we get to fight the Kobold Champion, and I need 14. N20 Games is here. Hello, Carl. It was going really well at the start, and then it all started going wrong. We have 3 cards left in the hourglass. We know the villain's here. I'm currently fighting the Kobold Champion for the 2nd time. This is really tough. I think we can do this. Yeah. So what do I need to get? I need to get 10, 11, 12. I need to get 14. 14. Right. Okay. So I'm going to be using... I'm going to be using the allying dart, which allows me to use my ranged or dexterity. So my dexterity is D12. D12. I think I might actually be better using my rapier. Because my rapier is actually my acrobatics, which is D12 plus 2 plus a D6. If proficient, you may additionally reload to add another D4. So reload, top of the deck, to add another D4. And I'm adding 2, right? Now this is a... What type of check is this? This is an acrobatic check, which is a dexterity check. So I can also recharge the archer on a local dexterity check to add a D4. Poison is bad. Yes, poison is bad. So I'm adding another D4. I totally want to do this time. Why didn't I do it last time? What happened last time? Oh, I didn't defeat it because the skeletons came along, wiped me out of cards, and then I didn't defeat the kobold champion. That's what happened last time. Do we want to bless it? I don't think we do. What do I need? I need 14. Average of this is going to be 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Oh, actually, maybe I do. Maybe I do. Let's use the light crossbow. Fumbus is going to use the light crossbow. He's going to discard the light crossbow to shoot an arrow or a crossbow bolt at the kobold champion. Right, here we go. Chance of this is high, he says. Done it. Yeah, easily. 10, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Defeated. That was tough. That was a closing henchman, which means I can try to succeed at a strength or melee check of 6 to close the location, which is no good at all for me. I'd need a 6 on a D6. But maybe we should be blessing this as well. Yeah, let's do it. Callistra's Sting. We're going to bless it. So it's 2D6. Oh, and I could have discarded a card to add another D6. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, oh well. Let's just go with it. 2D6. I need a 6 to close the location. Come on. Well, there's a 4. And there's a 4. The location is closed. So I look through for any villains, which there are none. The location is closed. No effect. We move to there. Do we want to move to there? Yes, we move to there. Right, done. It is Fumbus's go. We have 3 turns left. When this is the hour, on your check, you may discard a card to re-roll 1 die showing a 1 or a 2. Before Fumbus takes his go, Kyra is going to cast Cure to heal Fumbus D4 plus 1 cards. 4 cards. So these get shuffled. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Just check what's going back in. Okay. They get shuffled back in there. Fumbus survives for another turn, even though he's not going to have another turn anyway. But it means he's not going to die this turn, because when you die in this game, you're dead. In the previous version of the game, I didn't think death meant actual death, but in this it does. Right, now is Fumbus going to explore? It's really dangerous, but we are totally up against it. So I don't really think he has a choice. I think we've just got to go for it now, and try and do it. So we have found Henchman Proxy, which is the Kobold Horde. Right. Now, does he have diplomacy skill? No, because if I use diplomacy, I've got plus D4, so that's no good. Oh, hang on a minute. When you defeat a Kobold Storybane, This is a Kobold Storybane. I should have been doing this each time. Another thing that I forgot to do. However, let's just go back. When I defeated the Kobold Champion, Mauricial defeated the Kobold Champion. So we're going to get a new ally. Where are my allies? I think I've already taken them out. They're the monsters. Are these the allies? Yeah. Summon and encounter an ally, and if you acquire it, you put it up next to the scenario. So Mauricial, Charisma, Diplomacy, Fortitude. No. Oh yeah, I've got a Charisma of D8, so I might get it. No, didn't get it. Right, never mind. And I think I've defeated a Kobold Horde at some point in the past. I'm sure I have, so I should have another one of these. Who was it who found the Kobold Horde? Let's say it was Fumbus. So earlier on, rewinding about an hour, I fought a Kobold Horde and defeated it. And therefore I should have summoned an ally. And I will try to get it with dexterity. And I failed. Okay, well that's fair enough. All right, so the thing that I forgot to do, I've gone back and I've done, but it didn't make any difference. So, I don't think we're going to use Diplomacy to get past the Kobold Horde. We're going to have to use combat, and this is going to be really tough because we need to exceed it by 4. Otherwise, suffer a ranged combat damage and then shuffle this monster into its location. So yeah, unless you defeat it a lot, it basically throws something at you and runs off. There are a lot of detail to remember, especially playing the game solo. Yes, oh, I've forgotten so many things. So many little things. I've forgotten that the characters have powers. Yeah, there's a lot of things that I've forgotten. Yeah, like this, on a local combat check. You may discard a card to add 1d4 and the acid, fire or poison trait. See, I forgot about that. Right, so we're going to fight the Kobold Horde. We're going to use a Noxious Bomb. So it's my craft, which is d8 plus 3 plus 2d6. And if against the monster, you may ignore its after-acting powers. It doesn't have any after-acting powers. Okay. So what's the average of this? 5, 12, 15. Oh, which would be easily enough. This is really good. Liquid, alchemical, attack, poison. It's not immune to any of those. Ah, but I need to defeat it by 4. Which 15 does. Yeah, okay. I'm not going to do this, am I? Totally not going to do this. Okay, let's go for it. Let's try and defeat the Kobold Horde. Oh, this is a closing henchman as well. So if we do this, we get a chance to close the location. Ooh. And then we might just do it. Wow. So this is quite important. Yeah, this is quite important. But with only 2 turns left after this, which is Kyra's go and Mauricial's go, and they're not going to draw cards until the end of their turn, yeah, not going to do this. Not going to do this at all. Just trying to think. Just trying to think. If I close it, it's a wisdom or survival check, which he hasn't, Fumbus hasn't got wisdom or survival. Well, he's got wisdom of D4, so that's not going to happen. And there's no guide to help me close it. No. So let's just go for it, see what we get. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13. On another character's check, freely discard to re-roll a die. I'm going to re-roll the 2, the 8. Yeah, done it. Right, so defeated and defeated by 4 or more. So that has gone. Lots of things happen. I summon a new ally because I've defeated a Kobold Storybane. So whose go is it? Fumbus. The chance of me acquiring a bound imp is, I could make an intelligence check. I've got D8. Yeah, that's my best chance. 6. Yes, got it. So that goes there. So I've got plus 2d4 now on every diplomacy check against kobold hordes, but I don't think there's going to be any more kobold hordes. I think they're all gone. Also, I get a chance to close the location because that was a closing henchman. So wisdom or survival check of 6. Wisdom is d4, no survival. So that's not going to happen. So I can't close the location. Oh, that is a shame because otherwise, if that location was closed, I could have then gone here. Yeah, I wouldn't have done it, but never mind. Right. End of turn. Fumbus gets a chance to get this noxious bomb back. D8 plus 3. 6, failed, but it goes to the discard pile because of his power. And Kyra gets the chance to get this back. I need a divine check of 8, which is D10 plus 3. Nope, so that gets discarded as well. Cure spell is gone. And now it is Kyra's... Oh, and then reach... yeah, so not dead. Not dead, which is good. Dying's bad. Kyra's go, advance the hour, when this is the hour, no effect, and we are just going to explore. All we've got is Divine Insight. We have 1 card in hand, because we've been using our cards on other people's turns, and that's, as I say, it's a card management game. What have we found? Serene's Light. I need a wisdom check, sorry, divine check of 5, which I've done, so I get it. Goes into my hand. Discard to explore. Let's do it. This exploration, you may evade monsters that you encounter. It's a snake bite dagger. Oh, don't really want that. Melee. I can do a melee check to try and get it. That's my best chance. Hello, Loki. Hello. No, don't knock that off. That's the microphone. Yeah, come here. We're almost done. We need to roll this. And then I'll get you dinner. Okay? Dinner after... Oh. Sorry. Yeah, this is just weapons for the future now, because this is a knife. This is a really nice weapon that Marisial would like. But the chance of me getting it is quite slim. But... Right, let's think about this. Kyra has no way of exploring again. So even if this card is got or gone... Oh, I know what I could have been doing. I've been doing this wrong. I didn't have to close this location. I could have just had somebody here to close it. Okay, I have a chance. It's a very, very slim chance. But it might work. It might just work. Basically, Marisial's going to go here on her turn. If we find the villain, we temporarily close this location, defeat the villain, win. But Marisial only has 1 card in hand. Yeah, I should have been doing this potentially before. Fumbus should have gone here and gone through this location and fought the big bad monster, and Kyra should have closed this location. That's a mistake that might have cost me the game. Meanwhile, back at picking up the snakebite dagger, I'm deciding whether to discard to bless. And I don't think I'm going to, because I want to save this for the 1 chance we have of winning the game. So we don't get that. That goes. Kyra cannot explore anymore because she doesn't have a card allowing her to do so. So we just draw these cards. And now we are on the last turn of the game. We advance the hour, no effect. It's Marisial's turn. She has 1 card in hand. Just remember, you can give cards to other characters. So I'm thinking, would Kyra have discarded a card and given it to somebody else? And the answer is no, because then she wants to keep that in hand. But yeah, she could have done, literally just give cards to this character, because Marisial can discard any card from hand to get an extra d6. So that's interesting. Anyway, we're not going to do that. Marisial's going to go here, and we're going to encounter... It is the Kobold Sorcerer. we have a chance of winning. Or do we? Because it says, before acting, suffer 1 acid damage, which would be the card. So what Fumbus should have done is played the Elixir of Energy Resistance and displayed it next to a local character and given it to Mauricial, and then when Mauricial moved here, she would have been immune to the acid. Have I got anything at all? Oh, I've got so much discard to bless now. I've got it coming out of my ears. I don't think I have. Can anybody spot the fact that I've got any form of acid protection? I don't think I do. So I think I'll lose this card. So this is terrible. This is terrible. So I get a chance to close this location first. Oh, sorry, to guard this location. It's a wisdom check of 6. Fumbus is going to recharge to add a d6. So it's a wisdom check of d6. Wisdom check is 10. I get my d6. The average of this is going to be 7. I need a 6. I might as well bless it because why not? Because you can only bless each thing once. So I can only bless this combat once, and I've got 2 bless cards in hand. So we're blessing, we get another d10. Right, so this is guarded. Okay, so we can't run away to here. Now we do the combat check. I have no cards in hand. Yeah, I'm trying to get that sorcerer. I am trying, but I have no cards in hand at all. Oh, and if you have no cards in hand, it's just a melee check. So Mauricial goes hand to hand with the Kobold Sorcerer and gets a d6. So instead of it being a d12 plus 2 plus a d4 plus 1, have I nothing that could have protected me against that acid damage? Wasn't she wearing armour at some point? I think she was, but she buried it earlier on. Oh. So she's going to go and punch the Kobold Sorcerer. So we can bless it, okay, which adds another d6. So that's a blessing card used. Oh, that's a local combat check. That's a local combat check. No, it's not happening, is it? This is not happening at all. Mauricial's had to go off into the caves on her own to find the Kobold Sorcerer with time running out. Oh, this has been so close. Yeah, this has been close. If I just had these 2 characters at that location, then yeah, I could have prevented the 1 acid damage, done that, and then I might have actually won the scenario. But as it is, I'm rolling 2d6. I need to get a 12, but if the attack to defeat does not have the attack trait, which it doesn't because I'm not using anything, re-roll. If the check to defeat does not have the attack trait, re-roll. Oh, and you succeed. So even if I succeed and roll a double 6, I would re-roll. After acting, suffer 1 acid damage, which is nothing. And then time has run out. And that is it. We failed the scenario. Only just. I definitely made not only some rules mistakes, which I picked up on most of the time. Yeah, she could evade it. And all evading would do is shuffle it into the deck. And then what? You know, the hourglass is out of cards. So that's the problem, is the hourglass ran out and Mauricial had no cards in hand and she was there on her own. So basically we failed the scenario, but the characters haven't died, which means you get to replay the scenario. Now you don't, I still rebuild my deck with the new cards that I've got. So I've probably got slightly better, and I need to remember next time about the ancient skeleton. I need to remember that when you meet the Kobold champion, you got to find the ancient skeleton, and I need a way of dealing with that. So, if at any point you need to advance the hourglass and there are no cards remaining, immediately end the current turn, the scenario ends, and your party of adventurers loses. You also lose if all the characters are dead. You do not earn the reward on the scenario. You didn't complete it. You must replay it. Rebuilding, whether you won or lost, you must rebuild your deck. So combine your cards in hand with that in your deck, with that in your discard pile, with your buried cards, and basically I will rebuild these characters ready for next time. I think I might have picked up a couple of cards, but nothing major. But I definitely will go into this next time knowing a little bit more about it. I think I was lucky with the dice rolls at the start, but unlucky at the end. Anyway, thank you very much to everybody for watching. And yeah, as I didn't mention at the start, this is not a sponsored playthrough video. Paizo have not sponsored me to make this. This is purely funded through my Patreon campaign. So if you do enjoy my videos and you want to support the show, then please check out my Patreon page, patreon.com/gaming rules. I'm going to get ready. I'm doing another live stream tonight, which is going to be Sierra West from Board and Dice. That will be happening at 8 o'clock UK time, so in an hour and a half, and I need to go and get food first. So thank you very much for watching. If you were watching this live, thank you very much. Or if you're watching this afterwards, I hope you enjoyed it. And I will be doing session 4 at some point. I don't know when, but session 4 will be replaying this scenario, which I might as well do live on camera, because why not? Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Take care, and I will see you next time. Gaming Rules is proudly sponsored by Game Toppers, upgrading your gaming experience. Visit GameToppersLLC.com.